Max, big mistake going back to 45 after he did 55.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just too hard on the body. He was a thick 55 when he fought Justin. He looked good, man.
Yeah.
He looked solid at that weight. Him fighting at that weight, he could actually fight. Going down to 45, it looked to me like he was compromised. Like, I think the weight cut was just
it was too much.
And especially when
I saw Conor yesterday.
Okay, I was going to ask you. You interviewed Conor.
Conor's not
Smashcast.
interviewing with anybody. He gives you interviews, and Ian Parker actually lined that up. I got to be part of it. First off, Ariel, we're in a room that's kind of like this in terms of lighting, but it's 108 degrees outside. So when Conor comes in and he opens the door, I swear to goodness there was this glow that walks around him. And no one knows when he's going to come. That's the other thing. You set a time with Conor, and then you stick around for Conor. So he pulls this door open, and it's his power team. I mean, they are moving. They're moving fast. He's dressed like $1 million. He's got this glow, and then somehow a microphone just like appeared in his hand. I don't know if they gave it to him outside. So he comes in, and he starts addressing the audience. He doesn't know if we're live. He doesn't know what we're doing. He comes in, he takes over this whole thing. They're giving him the pop. You know, he's like, "What's up, Vegas? Are you enjoying Vegas?" You know, all the
He's in front of a live crowd.
Yes.
Okay, wow.
They go crazy. Ariel, this guy's huge. I get up and give him the bro hug. First off, he's as hard as a rock. And secondly, I'm looking at him, I said, "Conor, I fought middleweights my whole life. I didn't fight anybody smaller than you." He said, "Chael, I don't want to talk about my weight." This was a surprise answer. He said, "I'm going to keep my weight close, but I will tell you for the first time ever, I got to pull down to 170. And if I was to guess, I mean, he's closer to 180 than he is 170. Could that be relevant in the fight? Yeah, maybe. If he got on top of Max, he would hold Max. He held him the first time, and now he's a bigger, stronger guy. It is a piece of this that the bettors, the odds makers, that nobody knew. It's a piece.
Absolutely. There's the other part about Max. We had his nutritionist, Tyler Minton, on the program yesterday. I think Max will probably come in at like 168.
Yep.
I don't think he'll hit the 170 limit.
171, yep.
He doesn't, because non-title fight. He's not a 170 pounder, right? Conor said he's never been hit by a welterweight before, but is Conor a true welterweight? There's a difference between being hit by Jack Della and being hit by Conor, in my opinion.
Yes.
Conor's a 155er who's fighting at welterweight.
Yes.
There's a difference, right?
This was tested in some ways. Rico maintained. Rico said 9 out of 10 times, straight up striking. Alex Pereira, Ciryl gone. Ciryl would win. I said, why? He said he's bigger. I said, no, he's not. They weigh the same. They're separated by like 3 pounds. He said, no, they're not. Growing to a heavyweight as opposed, he said, you don't understand the bone density. You don't understand. I mean, Rico called this so perfectly, and I only share, like, to your point, yes, you're right, and that would be a recent example.
I believe what people are seeing in Conor yesterday in the media, and they'll continue to see as the week progresses, this level of sort of calm confidence is the result of what he's done the last 6 months. And I always have that joke saying that I could give the best Rocky speech to a fighter, not just Conor, you know, the night before a fight, but he has to go to bed and listen to himself, and you can't lie to yourself, and you'll start scratching away at your confidence, saying, I didn't eat right all the time, and I missed those few sessions, and I can't tell you did them if you didn't. So true confidence is only born through hard work. And he really has done it the right way the last 6 months. And that's why you're going to see him and us all enjoying this week and being very, calm, like I said, and looking forward to Saturday night. And it will be spectacular and it will be great because I know how he's trained. I would say this last 6 months training and how he's approached it might be the hardest and most dedicated 6 months he's done since I've known him. I don't say that lightly.
Wow. Even Aldo, all
just
those...
that the way he has been the last 6 months has been different.
Okay.
It really has. And y'all can say what you like, but they'll see. I believe you will see the result of that work Saturday.
I can't wait. I see he got 2 belts. I guess he's fighting for belts come Saturday night, so I can't wait to take those pretty belts off his hands.
You didn't lay a glove on me last time. You're not going to lay a glove on me this time. This is a different animal coming back. I've got a lot to prove here. And who am I proving it to? To myself. So you're up against it.
I touched your face quite a lot last time. And even if we're talking about drops, I dropped your ass with a high kick.
Conor McGregor is making headlines again, and it seems like this time is different. He's getting ready for a big match against Max Holloway. McGregor was straight to the point in his recent comments, giving a harsh warning that quickly brought back their old rivalry. Both fighters have a lot more experience now, and their next fight is not just about who's the most skilled, it's also about making history.
Keeping him, and number two, get him in boxing range and just fucking putting the work on him. Just outwork him, right? Just outwork him. So, with all that being said, the Notorious One taking on Max Holloway at 170, by the way, which I don't think is going to play. You know, if Conor McGregor was a grappler like Charles Oliveira, I'm like, I'm not a big fan of 170, but he's not. You know, is he going to have the power? Maybe. But at the same time, as the fight goes on, the power's going to dwindle. So if Max can just withstand a couple shots, he should be good. You know, how does Max Holloway feel at 170? He shouldn't have to cut any weight. He should be able to walk in as natural as possible. His body shouldn't have to go through a massive weight cut to make 155, near damn 145. Neither does Conor McGregor. So I'm not really concerned about it being at 170. I think it's just, you know, these guys are fighting their natural weight. But with all that being said, I'm going to have to go with the blessed one, Max Holloway. He's just been active, even though it's been ups and downs. I like the athlete who's been active. I think this matchup is great. Even though Conor McGregor beat him the very first time when they fought years, moons ago, I think Max Holloway is ready for this fight. I think he's excited for this fight because I'm sure when you fight Conor McGregor, even if it's Paramount Plus, I'm sure it's red panty night for Max Holloway. And
when asked about what he anticipated of Conor McGregor's behavior during fight week, Max Holloway revealed that he did not have any specific expectations since he never knew exactly what the Irishman was going to do, but he was excited to see. Holloway said that McGregor had been portrayed as a calmer individual lately, discussing faith and bringing his children along for his fights. But should McGregor opt to go back to his trademark trash talking, Holloway was quick to assure that he was ready for the challenge and would take it head on without running away from it. With a chuckle, Holloway said that having grown up in Hawaii, he was more than prepared to talk it out, stating that his training partners were well aware of his love for talking.
During fight week, what are your expectations as we head into Thursday's press conference, the face-to-faces that you'll do this week with him, ceremonial weigh-in on Friday? What do you think he'll pull? What do you think he'll try to do to you?
I don't know. We see what happens. You know, I'm excited because by everything that you're seeing, he looks like a changed man. He found God. He's talking about bringing his fights to his kids to the fights, to the very first fight. So I'm excited. I want to see, you know. But if he's ready to tangle and see, the man got the gift of gab and he want to talk some shit, I welcome it, man. I'm from Waianae, Hawaii. Yeah, ask any of my teammates. Ask that guy right there. He gets it the most in the shit talking. So at the end of the day, it'd be fun.
Holloway also fired back at McGregor for his constant use of the term "my child," as well as his claim that he will son him again as he did the first time 13 years ago. In reply to such statements, Holloway responded sarcastically and said that if sonning means beating him down and having control over him for 3 rounds, then let McGregor say it all he wants. He told McGregor that he can say whatever he wants to convince himself before the match, but nothing will count when he closes the door of the cage. All that matters to Holloway is seeing to it that McGregor makes it to the octagon.
I'm sure you're not worried about anyone getting into your head, but what do you make of these comments that keep coming up from these sound bites of Conor McGregor where he says, Max Holloway is my child. I'm going to son him again like I did 13 years ago.
I mean, if sonning someone is taking someone down and holding them for 3 rounds, then he's absolutely right, you know? So at the end of the day, it is what it is. For him, whatever it takes for him that he needs to keep telling himself to get Saturday night, do whatever you got to do, because I just want you to make that walk. And the beautiful thing is we get to fight.
Despite dismissing the trash talk, Holloway respected McGregor's decision to come back into MMA after being away from the sport for 5 years, as well as having to overcome the severe injury to his leg. He commended McGregor's fighting spirit, saying that he understood why a competitor of McGregor's caliber would want to make a comeback. That notwithstanding, Holloway left no doubt at the end of their exchange. He noted that while the prolonged break might have allowed McGregor to recover from his physical ailments, he had chosen to face Holloway in his comeback match.
You know, I mean, it just shows what kind of warrior he is. You know, at the end of the day, in my mind, I would do the same thing. I think he's a hammer, you know what I mean? I think he's an animal for doing that. And I see a lot of people calling him out, and I'm like, bro, if I was in the same situation, I think I would do the same thing, you know. And but that just shows the war mentality he has. You know how much money he has in the bank. The injury had to come back. The 5-year layoff. We're here now, so I got nothing but respect for the man of doing that. And if you got to talk a little bit to get him there, just make sure you show up Saturday night.
Well, it seems like he's saying the right things in the interview, saying, look, I haven't fought in 5 years. I don't have the wear and tear that Max does. He said he feels like he's still in his prime. When you hear that stuff, what do you think, knowing what 5 years can do in terms of a layoff?
I mean, like he said, he got to recover. He got recovery. You know, a lot of us go into these fights fighting all the time, banged up most of the time, and then we get little recovery, and then we got to turn back around, you know. So at the end of the day, I can see where he's coming from. The bad part for him is he's fighting me. He got to see me from the octagon, you know. There's a lot of guys that he could have chose. He chose the wrong one.
It is obvious that Conor McGregor doesn't view his upcoming fight against Max Holloway as yet another comeback match. Having been out of action for 5 years following an injury to his leg, McGregor stated that he has regained his confidence by working hard on himself and having faith in himself. In other words, he acknowledged that coming back after this particular injury meant proving something to himself. What is more, McGregor added that his confidence has become unbreakable, and everyone would see the results of his hard work in the ring against Holloway.
Breath, can you take us into your mind? What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Confidence, absolute confidence and excitement to do my job. Happy to be back.
Is that a big part of you getting back here, is having the confidence to walk in front of everybody, and after what happened to you and some of the losses and the setbacks and the comeback and everything else, how hard was it? We always remember you being a confident guy. How hard was it to find that confidence again?
You know, you got to dig deep and you got to prove to yourself you are what you say you are. And so that was what it was for me. I was using it as motivation. It takes a lot of, you know, deep internal work to return from an injury like that, and circumstances surrounding it, and I just use that as motivation. Lovely. I wish for it to be that way, because now I can show. And on Saturday night,
in Fight Week, Conor claimed that his mindset revolves around keeping up the same level of intensity that has made him one of the biggest stars of UFC. Although he agreed that he felt excited and appreciative of getting back to action, he claimed that he will always keep the fire and venom required for him to give his best. Moreover, he rejected all of Max Holloway's remarks about pulling him deep into the waters, claiming that he is merely enjoying the privilege of competing again.
Be the case.
How about everything that comes with Fight Week? I know you've talked about this before, that it is taxing, it is exhausting, but you're used to it, you know, but now here you are and you're in it, and you've had lived such a crazy experience, a unique experience that people want to hear about it. How much of yourself do you want to share at this point in your career?
Well, you know, it's Fight Week. I won't be getting on a therapist's chair on Fight Week, do you get me? Yeah. So I need to keep that fire and that venom. Literally, that is what it will be. It will be venomous inside this octagon. And you know, I'm an open book. What you see is what you get with me. I always try and speak my truth, and, you know, at the best of me, I try and encourage others and inspire others and motivate others, and that's kind of what I'll do, you know, without getting too much into anything soppy or anything, you know. I'll keep that fire in my belly and go and fight on Saturday night.
Is it going to be a lot of venom? Is it going to be some joy too? I mean, we've seen a few versions of you, you know, and you're very good when you're joyous as well.
Yeah, for sure. No, there you go. That's a great point. A flow state for sure. I'll look for that. Holloway's a great opponent to find my feet in here. I know he's planning on deep waters. It's almost a bit disrespectful. I'm not sure who he thinks he's talking about here.
However, McGregor did speak on the ongoing issue about his featherweight legacy as well. He stated that people fail to recognize his feats only because he retired from the division early and was not very active in it for a while. Nevertheless, according to him, his wins against top featherweights should be enough to prove everything he managed to do in the division. Moreover, he stated confidently that he is still the best featherweight in the history of the UFC.
Just a few more questions. I know this is a very busy fight week for you. You know, one of the reasons I think that you aren't in those conversations is not because your performances lacked anything. It's just there was a lack of performances. There was inactivity, and I think obviously.
Well, you know, yeah, that's a fair shout for sure, and I understand why. I understand the whys of it, but you cannot get caught in all of this. What is the skill? Who is the best? Who is the greatest? Who is the best? And it is me, and the results show this. It's not like the fights weren't there. It was just elsewhere. There was divisional changes, which originally was not of my was not me. It was a fighter pulling out, or things of that nature that kind of led to it. So I understand it. However, I don't agree with it. I am the greatest featherweight since Bruce Lee. And on Saturday night, I will show it.
As part of the prediction about how McGregor can beat his opponent, Demetrius Johnson stated that McGregor should be able to conquer the difficulties he will face due to the 5 years without fighting. In particular, Johnson noted that being hit in a real fight is entirely different from sparring because there is a significant difference in intensity and speed between the two. Moreover, McGregor should not let the bout become a boxing match where he exchanges punches with his opponent because his best performances include staying nimble and landing accurate hits.
Striker. Now, let's talk about key to victory for both these guys, right? We'll start with Conor McGregor because the biggest thing for him is key to victory one is that he has to get used to getting hit in the face again. Now, I know that might sound weird, but for an athlete, when you take time off the sport, you take time off competition, getting hit in the face is something you have to get used to. Getting boom, blast in the nose, something swells up. Granted, you get that in training, but training and fighting are two different fucking things. I can tell you that right now. He's got to make sure, but when he gets in there, that he takes it all in. He gets hit in the face. He's like, okay, I've been here before. He's got to knock off that ring rust. Dominic Cruz says, I believe there is no ring rust. I believe there is, especially for an athlete who's so precise and the movement and hitting him. Key for number two, he's got to make sure he remembers how that canvas feels on his feet. He's got to be light at his feet and not allow Max Holloway to get him into a boxing fest, because we've seen that before. When Conor McGregor gets in a boxing fest with Dustin Poirier, the last two fights, when he gets in a boxing fest with Nate Diaz, when he gets in that boxing fest, he tends to lose that spark, right? Where he's a pop. When you fight Eddie Alvarez, it wasn't a boxing fest. He was boom, and catches him, right? You cannot allow Max Holloway to get him in the box.
According to Johnson, the major goal for Holloway in this fight was to prevent McGregor from getting into his rhythm, which had helped him knock out so many of his opponents. Johnson maintained that the constant exertion would take its toll on McGregor, as his energy is going to be reduced with time. While acknowledging the fact that both of them were going to benefit from the weigh limit of 170 pounds without much trouble in cutting weights, Johnson still chose Holloway due to his performance and progress lately. In MMA Guru's opinion, the only way for McGregor to win this match is through a knockout in the first 2 rounds. This is because of Holloway's experience in fighting tough fighters and proving himself durable. After these initial 2 rounds of McGregor's fight, he foresees Holloway's domination in the rest of the fight. He also raises the issue of whether or not McGregor has developed or gotten better during the last 5 years as a fighter. Rather than staying focused on MMA, Guru thinks that McGregor has been busy with his businesses and other things besides fighting. That is why he finds it hard to believe that McGregor will be able to win against one of the UFC's most active fighters right away. Whichever competitor they choose for the upcoming matchup, there is no denying that this is possibly the most exciting comeback match in recent times for the UFC organization. Indeed, Conor McGregor has not lost his aura as a star, his sense of confidence, or his knockout power that have made him one of the best competitors in mixed martial arts ever. At the same time, it would not be wrong to say that Max Holloway has remained in the game all along, sharpening his skills in the ring by facing some of the best opponents he could find out there. This is why the matchup between them promises to be one of the most exciting in recent times. What will happen when the two meet up inside the cage?